All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Ryan Garcia, and what Oscar De La Hoya had to say about making that fight, and the position that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is to make the fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about one of the biggest fights in all of boxing, and it is in the lightweight division, and the participants in the fight would be Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Ryan Garcia. Now, before I get into the fight, into this conversation, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the video and talking boxing with me. I greatly appreciate it. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter with the channel, please hit that like button, hit the share button. Sorry about that, man. I'm twisting my words up this morning, and I don't do edits, so you're just gonna have to live with it. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means a ton, both in the live stream version, the live stream mechanism, and the video format, the live stream format, the video format. And specifically, thank you for the live streams, because that's where we get to talk about a lot of things going on in boxing that we don't do in the videos. So make sure you guys check out the live streams that we do every day around 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. All right, so let's get into this, man. Boxing's a weird sport, man. It's a weird sport, because there is a idea that the boxing media tries to sell you, and they're selling it to you because this is what the promoters are trying to sell you and the networks are trying to sell you. And that is the idea that the thing that makes championships, makes boxing go, are championships. Every other fight is a championship fight. This championship fight, that championship fight. And as a result of that mentality, over the course of the years, there's been more and more champions. It got to the point, more and more belts, more and more champions, with really more and more sanctioning bodies, which means more and more titles, which means more and more champions holding those titles, to the point that like we have 80, 90, 100 champions at boxing at any given time. When you look at all four of the major championship, all of the four major championship belts. And then you have the championships that are underneath those major championship belts. And then you look at organizations like the IBO, right? Or secondary organizations like the NABF, right? Or the NABF Asian, or whatever it is. There's a million of them, right? So every picture you see somebody toting a belt, right? People that you'll be like, wow, I didn't realize that this guy was this kid was a champion. I thought he had like 15 fights, but yet there he is standing in the middle of a ring with a belt around him, talking about, hey, but come on, man, you're not the champion. You're just another of the 50 million dudes that have belts, right? That type of mentality in this Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight is where perception is getting slapped with reality. And the reality of the situation is that boxing fans are fans of fighters. They're not fans of belts. So in the lightweight division, we have a situation where you have Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who's a regular champion. And you have a guy in Ryan Garcia, who is I do believe, a former WBC interim champion. And currently, I'm not even sure if he holds the interim championship anymore, because his last fight was just at 140 with Javier Fortuna, where those guys are the biggest fight in the lightweight division, while there's another fighter out there, Devin Haney, who actually holds all of the major championship belts, but yet he is on the outside looking in. So Gervonta Davis is getting called out by Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has a promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya is saying that he wants to make the fight. They want to make the fight, and this is what we have to do to make the fight. Amazing to me. He says that, first of all, everything has to be 50-50. 50-50 purses, 50-50, right? 50-50 split, all right, everything right down the middle. And this fight has to take place between two different networks, right? The networks being Showtime Sports and DAZN. Now, for Gervonta Davis's standpoint, he himself has said that he wants to fight. And I'm not sure why he wouldn't want that fight. That fight for him is about as sweet as cherry pie. In what Boozy, excuse me, make sure I say his name is Bozy Ennis said when he was asked about the Davis versus Garcia fight, he said, "Look, man, Ryan Garcia cannot go banging with Gervonta Davis like he did with Javier Fortuna. If he does, he's going to get put out. He's going to get put to sleep. That kid still has his chin in the air. No way he's going to get out of that fight like that." So where you have Gervonta Tank Davis, I guarantee you Gervonta Davis sees that. And Leonard Ellerbe, who said that he has tried to make the fight with Ryan Garcia on multiple occasions, says that he sees it and is like, look, there's no way that these guys are going to try to make a fight with Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. They're not going to come within a country mile of Gervonta Davis with any serious intent on making that fight. And as you listen to how Oscar De La Hoya is going on about that negotiation, you can clearly see that is the case, because Steven Espinoza and Showtime, who've been the exclusive carrier of Gervonta Tank Davis for his entire career that I know of. I don't think there's ever been a point where he had a fight that was not on Showtime, because other than maybe like the first 10 fights of his career before he signed with Mayweather Jr., they've all been on Showtime. And clearly Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Leonard Ellerbe, and that's regardless of whether or not the particular entity Floyd Mayweather Promotions is involved in it, or whether it's just the PBC. That's still a unit of people. They have a loyalty and a great working relationship with Showtime, and are not going to share Gervonta Davis with DAZN for a Ryan Garcia fight. The simple fact that DAZN is acting as if they want to be involved in that fight or need to be involved in that fight in order to make that fight tells you that they are not really trying to make that fight. First and foremost, this whole thing is just an exercise, in my opinion, in clout chasing. And the entire lightweight division, in my opinion, right at this point in time, is an exercise in clout chasing, because Gervonta Davis is the guy that everybody in that division wants to fight, except for maybe Lomachenko hasn't spoken on it in a while. But yet he's the guy that does not have any major championship belts. But yet people that are talking about fighting him are talking about what type of things he needs to acquiesce in order to make the fight. Fact of the matter is, Gervonta Davis can sit and do exactly what he's doing right now, fight whoever it is that he wants, and provided he still puts on exciting fights, what really does matter in boxing is what's going to shine through, and that is what boxing fans think of you, and whether or not boxing fans want to come pay their money or bet their money with casinos or whoever else about the outcome of who can beat that guy right there, Gervonta Davis. Because those are the people, that's the guy that the majority of boxing fans are saying is the guy that they're interested in. And when they're interested in him, they wind up becoming the champion for the fan base that they have. And that's what drives the sport of boxing, not these plastic, I'm not going to say they're plastic, not these belts that everybody talks around and talks about. And it's real funny. Everybody knows that when their guy doesn't hold those belts. They clearly see that those belts are just alphabet soup belts in corrupt organizations. But when it comes to trying to force somebody to fight their fighters, then those belts become all important for the sake of that argument. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if the fight happens. I don't think it will, but you let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.